I have been married twice in my life, and I have loved deeply both times. But only one of those marriages gave me peace, stability, and a sense of being truly known by another human being. I am 89 years old, and I am going to tell you something that contradicts almost every song, every movie, and every piece of advice you have ever received about choosing a life partner. Love is not enough. It has never been enough. And the sooner you understand what actually holds a marriage together across decades, the better your chances of building something that does not quietly fall apart while you are both still inside it. I was 23 years old when I fell in love for the first time, and I fell completely. He was charming and handsome and made me feel like the most important person in any room we entered together. I ignored every practical concern because I was convinced that the intensity of what I felt was a reliable signal. I believed, the way young people tend to believe, that love this powerful simply could not lead somewhere wrong. We were married within a year of meeting, and for the first 3 years, life felt like something out of a story. Then reality arrived, as it always does, and love turned out to be entirely unprepared for it. The first thing love cannot do is pay a bill. I do not mean that in a purely financial sense, although financial incompatibility is one of the leading causes of relationship breakdown and has been documented extensively by researchers at institutions like the American Psychological Association. What I mean is that love cannot substitute for the practical alignment that a lasting partnership requires. Do you share the same values around money? Do you have compatible visions for how your daily life should be structured? Do you agree on whether to save or spend? On how to handle debt? On what financial security looks like? These are not romantic questions, but they are the questions whose answers will determine the texture of your everyday life for the next 40 or 50 years. The second thing I discovered is that attraction fades in waves. There will be seasons in a long marriage where you look at the person across from you and feel a warmth so deep it surprises you. And there will be other seasons where you feel a distance you cannot entirely explain, where the connection seems muted and the effort required feels disproportionate to the reward. Every long marriage passes through both kinds of seasons, repeatedly. The couples who survive are not the ones who never experienced the distance. They are the ones who chose to move toward each other anyway, not because the feeling was strong, but because the commitment was stronger than the feeling. The third warning I want to give you is about choosing someone whose character you have actually tested rather than assumed. It is very easy to love a person during the easy seasons of life. Anyone can be kind and generous and present when things are going well. The true character of a partner reveals itself during difficulty, during loss, during the periods when stress is high and resources are low and patience has been stretched thin. Before you commit your life to someone, watch how they behave when things go wrong. Watch how they treat people who cannot do anything for them. Watch how they handle being wrong. Those moments will tell you more than 100 perfect dates ever could. The fourth truth is about shared values, which I believe is the single most underrated factor in long-term partnership. My second husband and I did not share the same taste in music or the same sense of humor or even the same social preferences. He was quieter than me, more reserved, happier with a small circle than a large gathering. In many surface ways, we were quite different, but we shared the same values around honesty, around how to treat people, around what family meant, around the kind of life we wanted to build, and the kind of people we wanted to be within it. Those shared values became the foundation that held everything else up, even during the years when other things were difficult. Relationship researchers at the Gottman Institute, which has studied thousands of couples over several decades, have identified what they call the sound relationship house, a framework built on trust, commitment, and what they describe as the creation of shared meaning. Their findings consistently show that couples who build rituals of connection, who share a life philosophy and purpose, and who turn toward each other during moments of stress rather than away, demonstrate significantly higher rates of long-term satisfaction and stability. The romantic feeling that brings two people together is the beginning of the story, not the whole of it. The fifth thing I wish someone had told me before my first marriage is that you are not just choosing a person, you are choosing a daily experience. You are choosing the energy that will greet you in the morning and the presence that will share your silence in the evening. You are choosing how conflict will feel in your home, how laughter will sound, how grief will be held, how the ordinary Tuesday afternoons of your life will be colored by the company of another human being. That daily experience, accumulated across thousands of ordinary days, is what a marriage actually is, and it has very little to do with the feeling you had on the night you decided this person was the one. My first marriage ended after 11 years. There was no dramatic event, no single moment of rupture. It was a slow and painful realization that we had built our relationship entirely on feeling and almost nothing on foundation. When the feeling dimmed, as it inevitably did, there was nothing structural underneath it to hold the weight of a shared life. We were two people who had loved each other genuinely, but had never asked the questions that would have told us whether we were actually compatible for the long journey we were attempting to take together. My second marriage lasted 41 years until my husband passed away 6 years ago. It was not a perfect marriage. We had disagreements that were sometimes heated and periods of distance that required real effort to close. But it was a deeply good marriage, and the reason it was good had very little to do with romance and everything to do with the fact that we were genuinely aligned on the things that matter most. We respected each other's character, we trusted each other's intentions, we shared a vision for the kind of life we were building and the kind of people we wanted to be within it. That alignment was the architecture that held everything else up. At 89, I want to offer you the clearest version of what I have learned. Do not walk away from love. Love is a beautiful and necessary part of choosing a partner, but do not let love be the only thing you bring to that decision. Bring your eyes open, bring your practical mind, bring the willingness to ask difficult questions before you are standing somewhere you can't easily leave. Choose someone whose character you admire, whose values align with yours, whose presence make your daily life better rather than more complicated. Choose someone you genuinely like as a person, not just someone you are powerfully drawn to. Because when the years accumulate and the surface things shift and change, it is the foundation you built in the beginning that will determine whether what you have can hold. Love brought me to both of my marriages, but wisdom is what made the second one last.